Freddy, I know you're someone who takes a lot of pride in being out there every single day and avoiding the IL, but just how valuable was this week for you to heal this ankle?
It actually was very valuable. I've admitted it over this week to the Dodgers that I'm very thankful. I feel the best I've felt since I got hurt. Better before the Tigers series. So this was huge. I had an MRI. It just showed fraying of my scar tissue. So it's almost like a freeing thing. So I had that done, and then by Sunday, I felt like I can go. So I started doing live EPs on Monday and Wednesday, trajects yesterday. So a lot of things were going into it, but I feel really good. Hate to say it, but I might have needed the 10 days.
When you say just feeling better than when you started this season, I know how much work you put in this off season and stuff, and just with spring training. What just is the biggest difference, I guess?
So I've been running the bases the last few days, and I have no reservations about hitting a base or worrying about hitting it and rolling it. I feel as free as I possibly can be right now, way better than I have the last couple weeks. So I have no reservations going into this game. I feel like I could steal a base. That's really how I feel. If there's times on my side, I'll be able to go now, and I feel really good about where my ankle is.
Not sure if you saw the people lining up outside the stadium. That's Ohtani level follow-on status.
Yeah, I got here at 12:30, and they were already out there. That was kind of crazy. And I do appreciate it. I just want to say thank you. This is really cool. Charlie's really excited. He's throwing the first pitch tonight, so if he can make it 2 years in a row, throwing a perfect strike. But I do appreciate it. It's gonna be fun. It's awesome, and my family's really excited about this bobblehead too.
Dave was saying, if this was 3 years ago, you probably would have been playing this last week. Is this more of a reflection of just this specific situation, or kind of just generally being open to the idea of in a spot like this, if I can rest a little bit now, it might be better for me in the long run?
I think that there's that too, and I think obviously just trusting and knowing and the relationship we built, they have not just me, but everyone's best interest at heart in this organization. And I think I could have played through it, but was that going to be, in the long run, going to be beneficial? Especially now, looking back, these last 10 days, I mean, it was huge for me. Probably I would have tried to play through it. I obviously said I could play the day I went on the IL. I came out here and I hit, I ran, I did everything. I thought I proved to them that I didn't have to, but ultimately we made the right choice sitting down. But it's hard. It was my first time since I was 17 that I broke my wrist to go on the IL. You guys know that I take a lot of pride in that, but sometimes, I had surgery and I came back as fast as I could from that surgery. I wasn't feeling that great in spring training, but I was powering through, just trying to get ready for Japan. So just a lot of things were kind of just in the way, and sometimes you just gotta sit for a second. Hate to admit it, but I needed it.
Did they ambush you again, like they did in Korea when they came in to try to convince you to go on the IL?
No. So that day I came out here and I was running, taking ground balls, and doing all that. We went in and had a conversation in Doc's office. It was Andrew, Brandon, Damon, the whole front office, and Doc, me, and Thomas, Albert, Bernard. Everyone you can possibly fit into Doc's office was in Doc's office, and we were just having conversations because they were already worried about the weather on the East Coast. With the rain, of me slipping on a base, hitting bases, I was already not feeling that good. And in the third game of that Tiger series, it felt like it was getting stiffer and stiffer as the game's gone on. So there was already some reservations going on, and once we talked, and you just know they have your best interests at heart, I really just conceded and I said, I think I do need it. And then it was the other conversations of, DC, the White House, and stuff like that. So we had a lot of things going on, trying to figure out what was best for my health. And ultimately, it was decided that I just stay home and
How weird was it just to be on the DL? Because it had been so long. Was this the first time you'd even missed a road trip since 17?
Yeah, I would say, I missed Colorado the last 3 games of last year, but yeah, it's very weird. Watching the games on TV, man, it looks really easy. But yeah, it's weird. I watched every pitch. I was invested, trying to cheer him on from over here, but a little weird, but did everything I could to get back as fast as I could, and we did a good job doing that.
How do you think Kike did over there?
I hope I play first base like him. That was the plays that he was making. That play, he saved us the game. 2 days ago. So hopefully I can fill his shoes nicely over there.
What'd you think of Clayton's speech in your place?
That was really good. Yeah, I mean, you know, Clayton's going to put together. I had my speech all ready to go, and you know, I hate that I missed it, but you know, Clayton's always going to nail it.
Do you want to give it now?
My speech? No, I have it written and ready to roll, but no, I'll save it for next time.
How's the swing feeling?
Good. So I did traject on Sunday, and then we did. So when everyone was at the White House having fun, I was hitting live BP out here. They flew in a minor leaguer for me on Monday. I took Tuesday off of lives or traject. I just hit in the cage. Wednesday I did another live BP. They flew in another minor leaguer for me, and then yesterday was traject. So I feel good. Game situation. I expect a lot out of myself, so I expect to go out there and perform. But it's gonna be nice just to get in there and get going again, get rolling, get games under my belt, and start to get the routine going again. So, but yes, I still expect a lot out of myself. But I feel good. My swing feels good. I was able to swing the whole time, which is great. With an ankle, it's not like an upper body or anything like that, wrist or anything. So I feel good going into today.
How much did you work with your dad while the team was away?
We just talked. He didn't. I was gonna bring him a couple times because he likes to be my carpool guy because it's a long drive. But no, we just talked. He's got a lot of work. He's coming today, but he's got to be grandpa this weekend. He's taking Charlie to a baseball tournament.
Did you get that bathroom leak fixed?
Yes, I showered in my normal shower today, so we're good.
Going forward from here,
Yeah.
right? You know, I assume that desire to play like every game doesn't just suddenly vanish.
No, it's not.
That said, it sounds like you're a little bit more open to being smart if the situation calls for it.
Yes.
How do you kind of balance those?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to be full bore. Go. We haven't had any conversations. I think it's more of because I was getting tighter on that third game in my ankle against the Tigers. So, but I feel way better now going into that than I was going into that series. So I do think it will be not day to day, but I think maybe series to series, like how I feel on Sunday on my third game in a row. How do I feel on Monday? So I do feel really good, but I will, in my mind, I'm coming in playing every game, and then if they go like, hey, or like, how do you feel? Maybe my joint is a little inflamed from playing 5 games in a row or something like that. Maybe do we be smart about it to make sure I make it through? I would be open to that, but in my mind right now, I'm going every game until something tells me otherwise.
Not saying you're old or anything, but I think we talked a little bit about this last year. I think, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, do you look at that at all?
I don't. I look at it. I had surgery on my ankle. It's not my age. It's not like it's an age thing. I rolled my ankle and I tore ligaments on the left side and the right side and chipped off cartilage, and I had surgery 4 months ago. So I'm not looking at it as an age thing. I feel like I keep myself in great shape. I feel like I was playing really good, playing good baseball before I got the little mishap. I guess you could say age of falling in a bathtub. Maybe that could be it, but I feel good. I wouldn't say this is an age injury. I just hurt myself trying to avoid a tag at first base.
Did they told you about the scar tissue part? Did they say that happens once and you're done, or could it happen?
That I don't know. We were just really worried about it because the whole thing of the cartilage on top where I broke that off and it floated to my ankle, and when I initially hurt, that's what we were worried about. If I had flared that up again, that would have put me out a little bit because that's more bone problem. But Dr. Elatraj was there with me looking at it, and he just said I frayed my scar tissue. So it's like, which was crazy to see that my ankle is still healing. So like a normal scar, like all this would be like this size. Mine is like the size of this because it's still healing down and protecting. So my ankle is still healing as we talk. So when I slipped, my scar tissue, like, it just pulled, so that's what made everything flare up. So that's what happened, and it's almost, they said it's almost like a pop feeling, you know, like, so it's almost like it could have freed it up a little bit, because I feel so much better almost since it happened. I wouldn't say that's the reason, but I don't know if it could happen again. I just hope I don't fall in a shower or anything like that again, so maybe we don't have to have that conversation again.
Not that you're like driven by like stats, but like you've talked about like you like round numbers in a season and a career. Is that kind of part of when you're like going through this kind of process? It's like being okay, sacrificing some of that, at least in like how you look at a season.
I wasn't even thinking about numbers during this part of it. I was just trying to be healthy enough to get to October. I was just trying to get on the field as fast as I can. But I wasn't thinking about numbers or stats or anything. I just wanted to get back as fast as I can, as healthy as I could, and I feel like we did a good job of that. But wasn't really chasing numbers. That will take care of itself if I get on the field.
Is there any like fun part to not playing? Like, I don't know, were you able to do anything that you couldn't usually do?
I took the kids to school on Tuesday. Turned out to be there was no school at spring break. I was supposed to be here at 10 a.m. So I couldn't take the kids back to the house. So I brought the kids with me to school, and they got car sick, and both of them threw up in my car. So that was my fun on Tuesday.
Maybe the universe is talking to you. You should have been stopped.
No, but I mean, I guess I would say like I wouldn't have seen my family for 6 days. So there's a little positives that you can when you're on the IL to accept it faster and just move on and just get healthy. I was here about 5 hours a day, and then I'd be able to be home with my kids. So I guess that would be the positive.
Wait, before you left, none of the kids said, wait, Dad, we don't have school today.
No, they're 4 years old. They don't really. It was the 4-year-olds. Charlie's homeschooled, so
Chelsea didn't have a schedule?
There was some miscommunications. Okay.
Just quickly, with Charlie throwing out the first pitch today, he's obviously grown so much the last few years. What are you expecting to see from him on the mound?
I think, well, he proved it last year that he could throw a strike. The first one in 22, he was just making sure he didn't bounce it. 23, he slipped on the mound. That's why he bounced that one, he says. And then last year was a perfect strike. So I'm hoping he throws another strike. We'll see if we can start a streak of perfect strikes. But he's just excited. He was going to come today, but then he found out none of his friends were going to be here, so he stayed home.
What about your dad? Did he feel better that you took time to recover?
Yeah, I think he's been fighting for me to take a seat for about 7 months now and rest. But he's the one that made me. He knows that I'm going to fight it. But I think ultimately he was happy that I took my time to come back this time.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Dave, with Freddy Freeman returning, he talks today just about how, like you were saying on the road, he just feels better than before the season started. How valuable were these last 10 days for him, just from your eyes?
They were huge. I think I even talked to Freddie, and he said that this is as good as he's felt pre that initial injury at first base. So, given all that he's gone through, I think it's gave him a little reprieve mentally, physically to be back, and we're excited to get him back in the lineup.
Do you see him being back to that everyday guy, or do you think he might need just a day here or there?
Yeah, I think it's a read and react situation. I think, my thought initially is to run him out there every day, and we've got 6 days until we get the next off day, until I hear or see otherwise. And I think that's part of the kind of the thought of getting on the IL, getting back to close to 100% to then be able to run out there every day.
Updates on Kopech and Evan Phillips?
So Michael is going to throw a pen here, first pen during this series here, I think, as I understand it. I'm not sure which day. Evan is going to, had a good one the other day. He's going to pitch tonight and continue to move forward. So he's doing really well. He's progressing nicely. Gonsolin had a good outing the other day. Tony will pitch again on Tuesday and try to potentially test the 5th inning. And Kirsch will go on Wednesday. So I think it's OKC. So I think it's OKC, but you can, he's going to pitch on Wednesday. So we're moving forward.
Phillips is the closest to those, I assume.
Phillips, Evans the closest, yeah. And then Michael is, Kopech is still a ways away.
With Tony, once he gets to that just 5-inning mark, do you see that he could be available to come back and be ready?
Yeah, I think that touch the 5th or touch the 4th. If he can get through the 5th, something like that, then he's viable. So yeah, once we get through this one, and then I think he's sort of going to be in the conversation and could be called upon.
You talked the other day about wanting to see Roki attack. Was that something that early last year Yamamoto was kind of going through too, getting comfortable attacking big league hitters kind of in the zone? And have you seen him do that with a little bit more consistency early this year, especially like setting up the splitter and some of his other stuff?
I have seen Yamamoto do it, and I think it's just kind of the messaging is attacking, being aggressive in the hitting zone with all of your pitches, and I think that Yamamoto's done a really good job of that with his plus command with the fastball. And then I thought Roki his last turn in Philadelphia did a really nice job of, striking the fastball, trusting it, and then also being able to strike and shorten the split. And I think that, major league hitters are going to force you into the strike zone, and until you show that you can pitch and miss bats in the strike zone. And so I'm really anxious about this one tonight or tomorrow for Roki, that he can continue to build on what he did his last time. But yeah, it's similar to what Yamamoto went through last year, but also, Roki's still, like I've said many times, he's a lot more green than Yamamoto was last year.
What's kind of that line between respecting the hitters enough and not maybe respecting them too much?
I think that with the ability, the information to attack hitters' weaknesses, with the stuff that a lot of these guys have, I think that, and the command that those two particular pitchers have, I think that trusting their stuff, it can out-best hitters is better side to think on mentality-wise, and when you can attack or strike your breaking balls, your secondary pitches, you're going to induce soft contact, you're going to induce quick at-bats, and then when you get count leverage, then you'll be able to put guys away. And I thought you saw that a little bit with Roki, and Yamamoto's done a real good job of that.
Freeman says he feels good enough now that he thinks he could steal a base. Does he have the green light?
No. It's just red can be fire engine red.
The fact that he was as open as he was to going on the IL and stuff, I mean, how much peace of mind does that give you going forward? That that this is going to be kind of right, if you have to deal with it down the road, you'll be able to?
Peace of mind, I guess, but I hope that this was the last one, and we'll manage him accordingly going forward. But I just thought that, on our training staff, and we all agreed that just kind of trying to nip it early on was going to be the best course of action, especially early on in the season. But to your question, we do have that trust and communication that if we ever need an off day to try to get ahead of things, we have that.
How does it feel to be in better weather now? And do you feel like the pitching staff can maybe find the strike zone a little bit more?
Yeah, I felt like, what's that, the Michelin Man in DC. So I feel like, I can kind of work on my vitamin D right now. Much better. I do think that we'll play better, but you got to give Phillies and the Nats credit. They won 2 series against us, but I do feel that, we're going to play some good baseball here at home.
Did Phillips last homestand kind of refer to this as like his spring training since he missed a little in March, but what boxes does he need to check?
He needs to check the back-to-back box, which I think is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, or no, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. The back-to-back box, just kind of, it's been good. I think that's probably the last one. So Evan's close. He's getting there, and he was right. It's kind of like the spring training. He's on his way.
Dave, I know you already thought highly of Kike's versatility, but were you still impressed with some of the more challenging plays he was making at first base?
I was. It's not easy to be on one side of the diamond at third, kick over to second base, and then go to first base and make plays with the glove, with the arm that he's made for us. And I just don't know. He's one of the few guys in baseball that can kind of do that so seamlessly. And when you lose Freddy, to have a backfill like Kike has been huge for us, certainly in preventing runs and making plays defensively.
How did Brazier like the ring?
It was great. He was great. He was really impressed with the yellow gold, the details of the ring. Got a little bit emotional, which was cool to see. And initially, the bullpen guys and Josh Bard and Mark Pryor were the guys that presented it to him. And I was happy and followed up with Brandon Gomes, our GM, to just kind of follow up. But he was very grateful. Yeah.
Dave, any update on Edgardo Henriquez and just kind of what the plan is for him?
Short answer, no. I saw Edgardo in DC for a quick minute, but given that it was an ankle thing, I'm sure that his arm has been moving, and hopefully we'll see him sooner than later. But I'm not sure when he's on rehab yet. Alright, thanks guys.
ついにこの男が帰ってくる。ロサンゼルスドジャースの不動の主砲フレディ・フリーマンが怪我からの完全復活を遂げ、4月12日からのカブス戦での復帰が濃厚となった。チームにとって、そして何より全ドジャースファンにとって、これ以上ない朗報である。開幕直後から攻守にわたり存在感を放ち続けていたフリーマンは、突然の負傷によって数試合を離脱。誰もがその影響を心配していた。しかし、彼は黙々と調整を重ね、今、再びグラウンドへ戻る準備を整えた。フリーマンの存在は、ドジャースにとって単なる一打者に止まらない。チームの精神的支柱であり、打線の核であり、誰よりも勝利に飢えた選手だ。昨季も全試合に出場し、3割3分を超える打率に加え、長打と勝負強さを兼ね備えたバッティングでファンを熱狂させた彼の姿は、まさに、鉄人、と呼ぶにふさわしい。そんなフリーマンが今季序盤で怪我をしたと聞いたとき、球界に衝撃が走ったのは言うまでもない。しかし、それは彼を止める理由にはならなかった。リハビリに励むフリーマンの姿を目撃した関係者は皆、口を揃えて、もう準備はできている、と語る。試合前の打撃練習では、彼特有のしなやかなスイングから放たれる快音が何度もグラウンドに響き渡った。そして、その一振り一振りが、再びチームを勝利へ導く日が近いことを証明していた。今季のドジャースは、開幕から素晴らしいスタートを切ったとはいえ、フリーマンの不在は決して小さな痛手ではなかった。大谷翔平、ムーキー、ベッツ、そしてウィル・スミスといったスター選手が奮闘する中でも、フリーマンの安定感と経験値はチーム全体に安心感を与えていた。彼が打席に立つだけで相手投手にプレッシャーを与え、守備では一塁の守護神としてピンチを救う。そんな圧倒的な存在感は、他の誰にも真似できるものではない。さらに注目すべきは、フリーマンの復帰によって打線の厚みが格段に増すという点だ。ベッツ、大谷、フリーマンというドリームトリオが再び揃い踏みすることにより、相手チームにとってはまさに悪夢のような攻撃陣が完成する。上位打線でプレッシャーをかけ、中軸で一気に仕留める。これぞ、ドジャースが誇る最強の青い破壊力である。また、フリーマンの復帰は若手選手たちにとっても大きな刺激となる。ベンチでの立ち振る舞い、試合中の声かけ、そして一打にかける執念。そのすべてが若い選手たちの教科書であり、リーダーシップとは何かを体現する生きた教材だ。彼の背中を見て育つ選手が、これからのドジャースを支えていくのだろう。そして、4月12日、舞台は本拠地ドジャースタジアム。対戦相手はナショナルリーグ中地区のライバル、シカゴ、カブス。フリーマンが再び一塁の守備位置に立ち、スタジアムを埋め尽くすファンの声援に包まれてバッターボックスへ向かう姿を想像するだけで、鳥肌が立つ。今季のドジャースは、ただの強豪では終わらない。ワールドシリーズ制覇という頂に向けて、ついに完全体となるのだ。フリーマンが戻ってくる。それは単なる戦力の回復ではない。ドジャースの魂が再び燃え上がるということだ。今、この瞬間から新たな伝説が始まる。さあ、フリーマンの復活をお祝い、これからのドジャースの快進撃に期待しよう。最後まで読んでくれてありがとう。面白いと思ったら、ぜひチャンネル登録と高評価をお願いします。